Fotona makes things that people don't make and that nobody else makes in the entire world. So we have, for example, we have the longest pulse duration Nd:YAG laser, and we have the longest pulse duration erbium YAG lasers. So we have things that are very unique. They do different things and just not available to the rest of the technologies that we are accessible. We can use a laser on a mucosa, and it gives great results for me.
Now I like to educate my clients that using a Fotona laser is like driving a Lamborghini. And I often use that analogy to them because once you've had a Fotona laser, you really can't go back to using anything else. It really is the best system.
People sometimes they don't realize how important is the technology behind the laser. You buy a laser and then you think to have the same technology as another laser, which is not true. You immediately realize if you use, for example, the Nd:YAG laser to coagulate microvessels from Fotona, and you compare with another laser to coagulate microvessels with the same wavelength, you have different results. So technology is there to help you to be reproducible, to understand how you can achieve good result without harming the patients. If you don't have a proper technology, you are pushed to modify maybe the parameters to get in a non-safer zone because you increase the power to get some results. And then if you increase the power, then you have some side effects, and which is not acceptable in a cosmetic practice. So technology is a must, and Fotona is the master of technology in lasers.
I'm moving ahead of my practice, and I feel always with Fotona that I'm ahead of any competitors or colleagues because I usually have the most recent and successful technology in the world of laser.
We made a huge research before choosing our first laser. Look, we saw all the machines that we can find in all the glove. And when we saw the technology that Fotona is offering us, we saw the big difference between Fotona and other brands. And that was the main issue that make us choose Fotona.
Yes, the specs of the machine, the high performance, the capability of dispense the energy in a really precise way. You have really homogeneous way to get the energy to the skin, and are a huge of different aspects that make Fotona really different, and that's why we choose Fotona. And right now we are really convinced that Fotona is the best laser brand in the world.
I love that the systems, they're so advanced with their technology, and all of the claims that they make are really science-based and they're backed up by science. So being able to say that we have the best system and having the clinical evidence is really important, not only for us as a practice, but also to educate and pass on to our patients.
I use both SB Dynamis and Starwalker. The versatility of these two lasers platforms are unprecedented. Now, before the Fotona being used in our centers, we merely provide medical cutaneous treatment. Now, with the help of Fotona and the LAHA, not only we have increased our treatment portfolios, we became very good in most of these new treatment that we are very proud of. Now, we successfully transform our conventional practice to one that offer both advanced medical and surgical laser treatments. Our clientele pool has increased by 4-fold to date. Laser client retention rate is maintaining above 80%, and our profits grows by at least 50% year-on-year basis since we acquire our Fotona system. We are very proud of what we have achieved, and more importantly, we are extremely thankful to Fotona.
The versatility of the machine is incredible, and if you're creative, you could be so creative with this machine because there are so many permutations and combinations that you could make with this laser. With other devices, usually after a year, you sort of hit a plateau and you sort of know where you are with the laser, what the laser can do for you. But with Fotona, I keep learning something new every year, which is fantastic.
With SP Dynamis and Star Walker, all my required wavelengths are taken care of. Okay, so I don't need to invest in others. Keeps my consumable cost under control, but I can really offer multiple treatments. That's what is important for any doctor practicing and beginning to practice. Needs to keep his cost under control. Only then you can try various things and be successful.
Honestly, I do like this device because it has various indications. So I can do many things with only one system, only one device. So it's really amazing. I can do everything. I do peeling, I do touch sculpting, even I remove some moles, some skin tags. So it covers really a lot of indications and with a small space in the clinic. So I think this is a very good advantage with Fotona laser.
We deal with Asian skin. I didn't want a carbon dioxide laser. So I tried many standalone machines. I wanted an erbium. I couldn't find one that could even replace or come close to the Fotona. It's a flashlight. It's got a lot of hand pieces and I can do a lot of work with these hand pieces. In fact, it's really my bread and butter machine because I use it every day, non-stop.
It does everything. The machine is like a full laser center. I start from the hair, for the hair regrowth protocol, face lifting, neck lifting, eyes, lips, even acne scars, active acne, rosacea, all scars in the skin, whether surgical or burn scars, body contouring and tight sculpting, even for the vaginal tightening and labial augmentation, leg veins, butt lifting. So what can I dream of more? A full laser center in one machine.
You have one device and you can do a lot of different procedures, starting from skin rejuvenation, vascular treatments, and fat reduction, and even in gynecological indications. So you have one device and 20, 30, 40 different options how to make our life better.
Well, it's the versatility, yeah, because from a growth standpoint, like I said, whether you're treating veins, you're doing hair removal, you're doing skin rejuvenation, you're treating night laser, you're doing feminine rejuvenation, just the versatility from one piece of equipment, there's nothing else that does that.
The main thing I wanted, I was told that it's built like a German tank. And so I need something that is very robust. And we were told by Fotona, we actually set the world record for number of pulses in the first 10 months that we had the thing. I think it was 10 or 14 million pulses with the laser. And so, because I thought everybody used the laser that frequently, I guess they don't. And so we're very busy. And I can't have something that breaks down all the time. So I need something that is actually built, quote unquote, like a German tank.
The one that helped us the most is because it's reliable. I mean, like we can continue using it for a long time, like the whole day. And it's stable and it gives the same result from time to time. So that's the things that we like about Fotona.
And I can tell you, after many, many years of experience and many different kind of a system I try in my clinic, Fotona, every time I get a Fotona in my hands, I feel safe. And I know that the Fotona is going to talk to me as I talk to the system. So it's going to understand me, and the results is going to be reproducible, because I know that when I set the parameters, I get this very thing on the patients. And this is why I like to use Fotona technology, no matter it's a Q-switch, super pico laser, erbium YAG, ND-YAG. So the, let's say, thoroughness about the planning and the realization of this system is a key of Fotona's success.
I've got the SP Dynamis, and that is my workhorse. It's every day from the start, 8 in the morning, all the way through till late in the evening, weekends, and it's reliable. It's incredible and consistently good. And you can, hand on heart, tell patients this will work for them. It won't give them any downtime, and the results are phenomenal. So it's unique too. So I love the machine. Absolutely brilliant workhorse, and has made my business what it is today.
For us, the most important part it's the results, because when you have real results, you are going to have a difference between other dermatologists and plastic surgeons on the city. So what we think is that results are given the biggest difference. Also, we have to say that our lasers are in function almost all day, every days of the week. So it's a huge part of our practice and our clinic.
Can you imagine getting rid of the headache of the filler patients? There is no more arguing about inequality of both sides of the face. There is no more arguing about bruising. There is no more talking about it didn't last that much. There is no more saying I don't look like me. There is nothing about injecting whatever material inside the skin and the people are afraid, and the regular complications. There is a regular complaint of every patient of the filler. Fotona 4D saved me all of this headache. Now I don't have to defend myself and defend the procedure. It's very nice, very smooth, not painful, and it does everything.
I was waiting for the system that will not work only on the superficial layer, that we will go from the both sides. When I see that it's from inside and from outside, I said, bingo, this is the way that we can do something more. And you can see now, we can do nose, we can do eyes from the both sides. Nobody, no competitors. And this is the best point to advertise. You don't have laser like that around the world that will do the two things.
When we are using the lasers, the way Fotona taught us with their magnificent SP Dynamis, we are able to perform a procedure which is called rejuvenation. Rejuvenation means restoration of the structure and the function of the skin, not just temporary improvement of how the skin is looking. We need to improve the structure and the function so the appearance of the skin improves in a natural way, which is staying for long term with no complications. That's why we are able to offer that with the Fotona.
When I met Fotona more than 10 years ago, I was looking for something less invasive at that time, less aggressive as a CO2 user in the past, and being aggressive with doing aggressive treatment with my patients. I was wondering if I could do the same in a less invasive way. I'm a gynecologist and I'm also a aesthetic doctor. So my practice features regenerative gynecology, cosmetic gynecology. I do a lot of body contouring treatments, facial rejuvenation treatments. So nowadays, SP Dynamics represents the 80% of my revenue in my daily practice. So I'm completely satisfied with the results I'm getting with my SP Dynamics. And what else? Well, is the laser that by far my patients love.
I have found that the treatments that I managed to do with the Fotona gives very good long-term results. It's consistent. I know when I use that machine, I am going to get this result. So I'm very confident. I tell the patients, you are going to get this. And because it's a very visible effect, their friends will look at them and say, hey, you look so good, what did you do? And they bring them. So I think the efficiency, the effect, the quality of the treatments is helps my practice a lot.
And also because it's famous, it have well-known name, we also we tell all the customer that we are using Fotona device, and it's also bring us in the front of the competition, because many other clinic using other device. So customers still prefer to use to treat by Fotona than other device.
So my number one consideration was always the company behind the device. I know Fotona is a very prestigious company, and plus the aftermarket, the aftermarket sales or the aftermarket service of device is very important. These machines, if it breaks down, you have no income. And I was also looking at the partnership with my local distributor and Fotona, and to see how they can address this. And so far, the machine hasn't, I better knock on wood, it hasn't broken down. And I just turn it on the start of the day and then just shut it off at night. We do 10 to 12 to 15 patients a day, every single day, 7 days a week. And I've had it for almost 2 years, and so far so good. And for me, that's already a very plus thing for this device.
Being able to get into my clinic as the number 15th and 16th laser is quite an achievement for Fotona.
Fotona family has been really fantastic as well, because their ongoing education, their webinars, their meetings are just incredible. They do a lot of scientific research. We keep adding different scanners and different handpieces, which make our treatments easier to do, faster, more predictable. It's just, it's a great machine. I mean, we're in our 5th year and I'm still loving it. So that's a good sign, right?
The people who are friendly, who are always willing to support you, always willing to back you with knowledge, with problem solving. You invest in that. You don't actually invest in a machine. You invest in people. And what I found about that is the R&D, the support, and more important, the Laha Academy. It's not just buying machine. You need to practice your machine. You need to understand from a lot of group of people what is going wrong, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So having regular symposium with the people using same machines is extremely important.
Fotona was an easy decision because of the resources that it offered. Not just the machine. Like I mentioned again, it is building machines that nobody else has ever come close to making with certain of its lasers. But apart from that fact, it provides a resource and a tool to interact with other users and other teachers.
Now, the best thing I find about Fotona, and this is what makes my treatments very good, is that a huge body of users that contribute, develop new treatments, new training programs, and I benefit from that. And they've got a fantastic website where you can just go in and watch the videos and learn from them. So I find that for those reasons, I chose the Fotona. I'm very, very happy with it.
I love that we've not only got the best system, but I love that Fotona offers so many different learning opportunities. So things like the LAHA conference and being able to learn and support and encourage other users to be the best that we can be. And as a whole, that makes us all the leaders of our field. So I love that we really do have a Fotona family, and I love that everyone really supports and encourages everyone else.
Last but not least would be the Continuous Professional Development Program offered by the laser manufacturer. Fotona, via the LAHA, has organized multiple world-class education events. Unlike my previous experience using other lasers from other companies, not a day goes by where I do not feel extremely proud to be part of the Fotona family, where users around the world are connected in such a close-knit manner. The knowledge were exchanged, problems were being brainstormed together, and more importantly, laughters are shared and friendships blossom.